Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nuke coming at you with another episode of Day Trading with Nuke. And right now we're looking at the morning watch list for Tuesday, December the 11th, 2018. We're going to get right into it. The SPY is up, and I'm not sure that I trust it, but we do need to note that that is what has happened. And what that looks like for us is that between yesterday's close and the pre-market action, it was very narrow for a while, then the value dropped off a little bit to 263. It's come back up to around 264 till around 2 o'clock this morning, and then it's steadily every hour on the hour kind of come up a bit. So we're currently sitting about $4 up from 263 up to 267.54. And what that's looked like for us, the SPY's been dropping. Everybody's been following it. On the 4-hour chart, a little longer time frame, what we see happening is Friday we had a hell of a sell-off. Yesterday there was a good sell-off, and then it rallied. It came back up, bumped its head on the 50, and then throughout the night it's been coming up. Currently we're sitting at the top of the Bollinger Bands, but we're approaching the 200 EMA pretty solidly here, right? So I would expect that our room to the upside, it's likely to continue up, but it's got some definite resistance up there, right? But on the other side of that coin, the downside, the resistance at the bottom is looking like it's somewhere around 259-ish, between the 258.5 and 259, 260. It's got a lot of resistance down there too. So I see a little more consolidation this morning, where it's going to not really want to break out of these levels just yet. It's Tuesday. Trump's been tweeting that the progress between the talks with China is going well. So this is going to be a day that, I've got hope, but I'm not going to look at making predictions because, good Lord, what the hell things have been doing lately is just anybody's guess. There's a lot of doubt in the market. So my plan is going to be to look for nothing but the absolute best setups and keep an open mind. That being said, we're going to look at the major tickers: Apple, NVDA, Facebook, BABA, Tesla. And then on the lower dollar side, we're going to look at Square, Microsoft, and AMD. And the reason I stick to these is it's got so many people trading them that it's going to be harder for the market manipulation to take place. So what I'm hoping to do is run with the crowd, not try and buck anything, and just, go with the flow and take the most high probability trades and leave the rest to be. I just don't need to be in it. Safety from the sidelines, guys. I make no doubts about that. The safer plays is where my interest is at. So with that being said, Apple, we're just going to cover the fibs. Currently, pre-market range is between 170 and 188, and on the high side, 169 on the low side. What does that look like for us? If it breaks out of that pre-market range, the low side 100% extension is at 166. High side 100% extension is at 174.73. You can see that on the longer term trends, we are currently sitting on top of the 50, and we're close to the top of the Bollinger Bands, but we aren't out of it. And that 50 has still been coming, not the 50, I'm sorry, the 20 EMA has still been coming down. So I think it has room to move, but it's getting closer to the squeezes. So just watch out, All right, Facebook. Facebook is an interesting critter. Let's see what the fibs tell us on it. Currently, pre-market highs at 144. Pre-market low was at 141. Like I said, the pre-market action here, it is indicative of the markets that we have, and it's currently been on an uptrend, but right out of the gate, rug could be pulled out from underneath you. On the 100% extensions to the high side, that's 147. To the low side, that's 138.37. And when you look at the longer time chart, it's been, kind of upticking a little bit, slowly gaining a little bit of ground. But if this rejects, that puts us setting in a lower high here. We are extended off of the 50 and off of the 200, but they are extended in the right direction, and the 200 has started to curl. But like I said, stay small, stay safe, stay out of the line of fire for bigger fish. Baba. What is Baba doing today? Oh, man. So, Baba's up following a lot of the other industrial stuff and the SPY. It's on its way up, and you can see that on the longer day trend chart. But you see the 200 EMA, how it's still kind of dipping, but we are over the 50, which is starting to curl. So it's been making its way slowly after the pullbacks. It had 2 back-to-back red days, and then, this morning it's showing great promise. So I really don't care to make an assumption as to what it could do. Like, we could be doing a pop just like these were doing and then just slam down. So why get into the guessing game? Just wait until it shows you what it wants to do. Pre-market highs is around 155.92. On the high side, pre-market low 150. 100% extension to the high side is around the 161.25, and the low side is 145.13. And what that means for us here, it's like, I just don't see this much range of movement, guys. And then down here, it's just, I'm expecting more consolidation, staying in that pre-market range. Nothing crazy. Tesla makes its own wind. What is that looking like today? Lots of pre-market action, steadily moving up, holding above the VWAP. On the high side, the extension to the 100% is 381. Low side is 354.40. And I see a lot of consolidation. It had some movement, and then it slowed down. I don't see it getting that far out of the box. We have been steadily moving upward, getting closer to those all-time highs. Just going to stay out of the way, though. I mean, according to the 200 and the 50, Tesla is definitely slowly moving up here. But don't get in the way of something that you can't stop. NVDA, following all the other stuff, you can see how it's been going up. Pre-market high currently is at 155.68. Pre-market low 150.72. Extension to the 100 up 160.78. Extension to the low 145.69. But NVIDIA is still on a downward trend according to the longer term chart, where the 200 is sitting above it around the 160, and the 50 EMA is sitting around the 153. So it's getting sandwiched in between there a little bit. Not going to get myself stuck in between anything like that. Just very safe plays for me, or nothing at all today. Netflix, what's Netflix looking like? Had a hell of a lot of pre-range motion, from 268.60 on the low side to 275.70 on the high side. 100% extension is at 283.30 on the high side, 261.25 on the low side. I just don't see it covering that much range. We have the 200 EMA sitting at 278 right above us, and we have the 50 EMA sitting below us at 272. I see some consolidation unless things go crazy here today, right? Microsoft, a little bit more affordable, 140,000 shares moved so far this morning. It's jumping like a jackrabbit. It's been heading up. Started with a pre-market low of 107, and now we're currently with a pre-market high of 109.70. And the 100% extension for this to the high side is going to be 112. Wow. And on the low side, 104. So just don't see it. We're already above some major resistance. So is it going to stay here? Is it going to test? Is it going to jump up and run? That run up to 112 is going to put us into some major resistance up here on the longer term time frame. And the 105, 104.59. You know, we get a lot of resistance down here, so I just don't see that much movement out of it today. Square, steadily climbing up this morning, but it did have this nice dip. Pre-market high of 65.58, pre-market low of 63.30. Fibonacci extensions up to 67.86 on the high side, 61.02 on the low side for the 100% extensions. And again, the longer term time frame chart is still showing a downtrend. And the 50 EMA, we are above it. It started to curl. Just sketchy. You know, like this is not the best place, you know, to say, yeah, I want to be here. Overall, I don't think we're done headed down. I think this news for the SPY and all, the economy, it's just a good little feel good. I don't think we're done dropping. I don't think it's time to rally just yet. AMD yesterday set in a really smooth wedge, but it was very choppy trading, right? But in hindsight, when you look at it, it was a very clean chart. I wasn't around yesterday to trade it, but I did bother. That's the only one I actually marked out. And what I'm looking at today is to see this pre-market support line tested, and on the worst side, see the resistance line tested if it drops that bad. But what does that look like for us and what it did yesterday? Well, pre-market highs of 20.58, pre-market low of 19.88. It's only $1, less than $1 range, you know, $1 and some change. And the Fibonacci extension to the high side is the 21.30. Fibonacci extension to the low side 19.17. So we'll look at that here. Yeah, you see where this resistance is clearly got some resistance on the low side. And the high side up here, yeah, look at that. Lots of resistance. Lots of resistance. So what's the 4-hour chart, a little longer time frame, telling us? Our 200 EMA is giving us a good solid roof here, which we're coming up on testing. The 50 EMA, we are currently above it, so we're getting sandwiched a little bit. And this thing could go high or low, but currently we're on the high side of the Bollinger Band, so you know, unless this thing decides to run exponentially, it could ping pong and start. This could be the time when it snaps back to the downside. Well, it just depends, you know. Either way, you've got a lot of resistance on either side, so I don't see a ton of range. I see, you know, choppy trading and consolidation. Anyway, that's what I got, guys. If you got any other thoughts, put them out there. Let me know. I got this out to you in under 15 minutes. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I hope y'all are liking me thinning the charts down and putting less information out there in front of y'all. Hopefully we can do this more in the future with more commentary and thought process and a lot less marking things out. You need to learn to mark it out on your own, and maybe my thought process is helpful to you, but you know, do your own charting, and what your eyes see is going to be what's most important to you, because what makes sense to my eyes and I see visually might not help you at all. So I don't want to confuse any of you, and I don't want to get in your head. So you got to do what you think is right, but learn to read the market in a way that you can understand it. All right, guys, with that being said, I am out of here at the 14-minute mark. I will try and do an afternoon recap with you. See ya.